Welcome to the Lovely Podcast. We're your hosts, Adam
and Anisha Leeper, just a couple of young millennials who took the leap from dating to married life. We're here to share the journey with you.
Expect candid conversations with us and our guests, covering everything from the first dates to the early years of marriage.
So take the leap with us on the Lovely Podcast. All right, season 2. Welcome back to the Lovely Podcast. Do your little clap.
Hold on, I'm getting there.
Oh, can you hear it?
Yeah.
It was so corny.
Well,
all right. So season 2 is going to be very exciting. We're going to be doing a lot more interviews. We already have a couple in the chamber to go ahead and be released. However, we have our first couple interview happening right now with the lovely Ashanti and Kaylin Crawford. Woo!
Yes.
How are you guys today?
No pressure.
Not the first.
I mean, yes, the first. Yes, we'll go ahead. So, I'm going to go ahead and introduce them because I know both of them personally. And no, I have no hand in them getting married. Some people may think that I was no, I'm not.
No, but I had a hand in you not going to their wedding.
Which we talked about. So, yeah, this is a lovely couple who ended up getting married the day that Adam proposed, and that was like no
Our
correlation.
anniversary is coming up, guys.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
We used to celebrate the engagement anniversary a lot, but I mean now as being a married couple, we don't really
Gotta celebrate every anniversary possible.
Nah.
That's true. We really don't even know our dating anniversary. It's kind of like a little up in the air thing.
I think I have it in my calendar somewhere.
It's
Well,
somewhere in there.
we kind of forgot ours this year.
Oh.
Yeah, we forgot ours this year.
It was a lot going on.
But we still ended up like doing something.
Well, as you should. You should always do something. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. We're actually going to get into date night ideas. So, but let me go ahead and give you guys a little background. So I knew Kaylin before I knew Ashanti. Me and Kaylin actually went to the same, what would you say, daycare provider, Miss Karen. We used to be little kids getting pinched together. So we went to like the same little in-house daycare together. And then Ashanti, me and her were on the same dance team. I don't know what, we were like 9, 8, 9.
Yeah, something
Something like that. We danced for a while together. We ended up going to the same middle school, elementary school, middle school. And then she left and decided to go to Notre Dame when I went to St. Ursula. And Kaylin was at St. John's, which is also the rival school of my brother's school, St. Francis. And then they started dating in high school. So
college.
You guys didn't date in high school?
No. We met in high school. We met on a Black college tour. But I was trying to be in somebody else's face. He already had a girlfriend, and like half the girls on the trip was like, "Oh my gosh, Kaylin."
Why did I think you guys dated in high school?
Nope.
College sweetheart. Okay, even better. So then, yeah. Well, you guys already started it. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about how you guys met.
Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, it was a college tour. He's a year ahead of us. And everybody is like, "Oh my gosh, Kaylin, he's so cute. He can sing. His beard is red." And I was like, "Yeah, he's cool, I guess."
Yeah, right.
And so, but like we ended up like exchanging numbers because I don't know, he was funny, and through text messages we learned that we have similar music tastes and like a bunch of similarities. I knew his mom before I knew him because his mom and my mom used to work together. And so I was like, "Oh, let me see what her son is." She would be talking about you and stuff. So I was like, "Oh, okay. I'll accept your friendship because I like your mom." And then we stopped talking at some point because we were both dating other people, and he said that I was too sarcastic.
Ooh.
And then
Yeah.
in September of 2014, after I had graduated, he had already graduated. He finally made a Facebook. And I probably said, I'm pretty sure I said something sarcastic in his like DMs about it, like, "Oh, look who decided to join Facebook." And then he would just be calling me and FaceTiming me all the time. And I just was like, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
And at that point, it was
plotting.
it was a consistent thing, and we were literally really just really good friends until things started getting serious.
So like winter break, he was like, "Oh, are you coming home?" And I was like, "Yeah." Or it was like Martin Luther King weekend or something. I don't know. I came home, and he was like, "Oh, we should like hang out." And at this point, I had already like kind of sort of started liking him, but I was like, I don't want to make this weird. Like, I don't usually have male friends, and I like the fact that we're friends. So I invited one of my friends to go with us, so that it wasn't a date. I was like, I don't want this to be weird, so I'm gonna like invite somebody else to go with us. But we still ended up like doing part of the date by ourselves. He came and picked me up. We went to Nickel World together.
Girl.
And it's gone now. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh no, they should know that it's gone.
Did you notice that?
It is. It's gone.
It's sad.
Poor thing.
Adam, did you ever get to go to Nickel World?
No, I kept passing it when I was driving in, but I never went.
Did it look juicy?
Yeah, he's never been in it. So for people who don't know, Nickel World was like a staple in Toledo. It's literally like an arcade, and everything in there was a nickel, but it was super sketchy and run down and a little bit creepy. And so like kids would have their little birthday parties there and stuff like that. And you play.
In fifth grade, we had a field trip to Nickel World.
Huh?
For money management. That was our field trip.
Oh yeah, y'all forgot you weren't at Grove Patterson then. But I was about to say,
you're like,
money management at Nickel World is crazy.
Right, like when was this?
Yeah, well, we went in 3rd and 5th grade. So back to the story.
So, you know that air hockey table like in the back of Nickel World?
Right, yeah.
So we were both playing against each other, and I tell Ashanti this, but like I promise you, like it seemed like everything was happening in slow motion. Like she said,
okay.
Literally like slow motion. I was like, I really like this girl. Like, I really do. And like we had hung out again, and I think like your dad was like, "Oh, we got another candidate or something."
Oh yeah, we got a candidate, and I was like, "Bro." And at this point, we still were just like, "Oh, we're just friends." So I'm like, "Why are you being weird and embarrassing?"
Yeah, I was like,
he just came to walk the dog with me. Stop.
I was like, no, this isn't that.
My aunt was over. My aunt Sean was over. Yeah. She was like, "Oh, okay, who is this?" Because I didn't really date that much in high school, and my family had only ever met like one boyfriend. So they was like, "Who is this?
Who is this young man?"
Wait, he came over to just walk the dog?
Well, I was walking the dog, and I think he just like came over, like, "Oh, what are you doing? I should like stop by." Yeah. And so when we came back to the house,
first of all, yes, because Kaylin is also we went to the same church. Is very he was. I'm gonna carry about 10 chairs at a time to show off.
Man.
That was him. The same as you. You gonna carry all the chairs. So chivalry is not dead. Okay.
No.
Just so you know.
No.
So was that moment when you were playing air hockey or table hockey, whatever? Was that the moment that you just knew Kaylin, or when was that moment for you?
I would say the moment that I knew was when we started like consistently like FaceTiming.
Yeah.
And then like we started like falling asleep.
Ooh!
He was holding me hostage on FaceTime.
Yeah. Like falling asleep on the phone.
Right. I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I'm about to go to sleep. He's like, no, let's keep talking. And I'd be like, okay, sure, whatever. Like, it was so easy.
Ooh.
I was
Oh,
so
yeah.
naive. I was like, okay, wait, what did he say?
No, you hang up
No,
first.
you hang up
No,
first.
you hang up first.
Let's just go to sleep and FaceTime.
Let's just go to sleep together.
That's how he was trying to be. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would wake up and I'd be like, we really was on the phone.
You roll over and it say 17 hours.
Right. It's all hot.
Or
Hot.
burn. Dang, my iPad is burning up. Dang.
Not the iPad.
Yes. This was before I had an iPhone, so my iPad was my baby.
So yeah, let's go through a little bit of a relationship timeline. So you said that you guys were actually dating in college. So then let's just go ahead and just kind of go through each phase of your life to now.
Okay.
Who's going? Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh.
So by the end, this was like fall. We started talking and texting like fall of 2014. We hung out for the first time like winter 2014. And then I came home from school and we were like hanging out all the time during the summer. And by the end of by the middle of August, you had asked me out.
Yeah, I had asked her to be my girlfriend.
Officially. We had already been like dating and stuff that whole summer. But like it was official. And I told him I loved him in a card on our first like official date.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, it didn't take long. And I was like, I'm just gonna say it. I'm
just gonna say it.
Yeah, we went to Biaggi's in Perrysburg for our first like official like date.
Yeah. I should pull up a picture.
Yeah, somebody had. I think I was working at Sherwin-Williams at the time.
Nice.
Somebody had suggested that place. They were like, this is real nice out in Perrysburg. It's out the way. Nice Italian place. So I was like,
Perrysburg is nice.
Right. It's the bougie.
Right. I was just thinking. I was like, I do not want to go anywhere in Toledo.
Nowhere in Toledo. Let's go to Perrysburg. That's where me and Adam always go when we go back home. Let's go to Perrysburg.
Let's go to Perrysburg. Let's go to a place we've both never been before.
Mr. Snooty.
I had like borrowed my aunt's car because I was like, she got a nice car. Let me borrow this car.
And she got leather seats. She just doing it up.
Little sunroof. I'm about to be so impressive.
I hope you got out and opened up her car door.
Of course he did.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, just checking. We're just checking. That's all we needed to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get some pictures from you guys so we can post these too with your little timeline and everything so they can see this.
Gosh. Yeah.
So how exactly was the first date?
I mean, it was like a regular date because we had already been dating, but it also was like, oh my gosh, like this is really happening. This is official. It felt very special.
I would describe it as like cheesy from my perspective, like kind of like when you like having conversation, you look to the left, you look to the right, and then you guys both make eye contact, and y'all both just cheesing like like that. But just unforced, very natural.
Yeah,
and just really chill. And the only reason why it was that way was because of everything that happened before then. Like we were really best friends before we even got to that point.
Yeah.
Which I feel is important when it comes to dating, to be friends first, for sure. And then transition into that. So, yeah.
I concur. I was trying to find this picture, but it's okay.
You can get it later. We'll get it.
So yeah. So that was August of 2015.
Yeah.
I transferred from Eastern Michigan to Owens. So, and he was already going to Owens. So then we would be seeing each other at school. He would take me home. And then when did you transfer to Kent?
So I was at Owens from the time that I graduated, which was 2013, all the way until 2017. And then I transferred to Kent State. So for some time, then we ran a long distance relationship.
But we were already really established at that point, and we knew that we wanted to get married. We weren't like, it wasn't like weird, like who you about to be hanging out with and all that type of stuff. It was just like, okay, I guess you're gonna be 2 hours away.
So yeah, it was. We already formed a strong foundation from the time that we were both in Toledo, and just from that moment and transitioning into the time that we were in a long distance relationship, that really helped us a lot. Because I don't understand how people can like start dating and then it's like, all right, I'm off and I'm gone without a foundation.
Right.
It's mind boggling to me. I would love to hear.
But I think that we started our foundation in a really mature way. Like you said, like we made sure our friendship was like really solid first.
Right.
And that we were able to like trust each other and respect each other and know that the other person was doing the same thing. So it wasn't like I was concerned that you were going to be like out being fast and weird and stuff. Because it's like, why would you do that?
Yeah, and like I said, from 2013 to 2017, I was in Toledo, and so once I got to Kent, it was like really all business at that point. I was like, I would be telling people I'm only here for like a year and a half. Like the second week, we talk about like church and all that stuff. Like the second week I got on campus, I found a church to play drums at in Akron. Like I was so like, I'm transferring from the Sherwin-Williams out in Toledo to the Sherwin-Williams out here. I'm finding me a satellite, home church out here, and I'm going to class and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and see y'all later. I'm not playing with y'all. So yeah, it was really serious to that point, and
I was trying to figure out how to get out there too. So I had transferred to Cleveland State in 2017, 2018. Like,
I think it was like the end of 2017. Yeah, early 2018. Yeah.
So like what, a semester or two after you?
Yeah.
I was like, you're not leaving me behind.
Right. We went from like 2 hours away from each other to like 45 minutes away from each other. Away from each other in a matter of
6 months.
6 months, yeah.
I think ours was worse because we were just like 3 or 4, and then it jumped to like 8.
I mean, 90% of our early relationship was long distance. Yeah. So between the times which they weren't as frequent when you would come in and see me, but besides, most of it was just for months.
Yeah. Whole beginning of that one.
Yeah, for
sure. Yes. And I stayed with, first I had a roommate. I stayed on campus. Then I realized how expensive it was staying on campus. So I immediately got an apartment. Lived with someone. It was cool in the beginning. Then it was terrible. And I was just like, well, I guess this is just a part of the plan. So I broke that lease. Well, I finished. I finished the lease, and then I moved in with 3 other guys. And so, looking back, it was like, oh my gosh, like rent is really this cheap. This is amazing, crazy, like $300 some. Like wow. So, stayed there for about a year.
Well, then I had left Cleveland State and I decided to get my aesthetics license. So I went to school for aesthetics during that time.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, 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 and we loved
And I
it.
was working 2 jobs. I'm just gonna throw that out
Yes.
there. It
Yes.
was a busy time.
Grinding for sure. So while I was staying with the other three guys, one of the roommates brought bed bugs. Yes. And I was like, I was already kind of fed up. And so I was just like, I'm out of here.
You had graduated too.
I had already graduated. So it got to the point where I literally made up in my mind, I'm going to work so much that I'll pay this rent and I'll pay the rent that I'm going to because I do not want to deal with this anymore.
Mm-mm.
So I moved like, how far would you say? Like 30, 40 minutes?
Yeah, he moved to like the west side of Cleveland,
Yeah.
like Strongsville.
Yeah. So I moved to Strongsville.
So we're both working a ton, and we're not really seeing each other that much.
Yes.
But I mean, we were still fine.
Mm-hmm.
We were on the phone all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
ask, what did you guys do to maintain that connection
I
before?
think we would take turns. Like either you would come to Toledo,
Yeah.
and I would like hang out with you and your family, or like
Mm-hmm.
I would come out to see you for like a weekend, and then I would get up like Monday morning super early and come back so I could make it to work on time.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, that's what we would do to like maintain that connectivity.
Yeah, going to the movies, going out to eat. We took a couple road trips
Mm-hmm.
before all of that started. Then
COVID.
COVID.
Mm.
um, you know how dramatic of a time that was. Like that weekend before everything was shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I found out that like my cosmetology school, we were shutting down. We were going virtual. I had called him and I was just like, I don't want to be in Toledo. Like, who knows how long this. People were being all dramatic, like it's gonna last for a year and blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. And I was like, I don't want to go that long without seeing you. So I'm just gonna come stay with you.
Ooh.
So
So
well,
was
or
that?
invite me.
I was
Oh,
gonna ask, what was the big leap that you guys took before you decided to take the big step to get married?
Mm-hmm.
So was
so
that it?
yeah,
Yeah.
living together for 3 months. And it's
Wow.
the two of us
Yeah.
not seeing anybody.
Yes. And
So,
so
so I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say, my question would be because since I know both of you personally, and I know your backgrounds on how you guys were raised and everything like that, what
Yeah.
did your parents say about y'all spending the night
Shacking up.
shacking up?
Yeah. You want to go first?
Well, like when I would be like visiting him while he was in school,
Mm-hmm.
my mom was just like, "Okay, be careful." Like, uh, she, my mom is the mom who bought me condoms when I went to college, and it freaked me out. I was like, "Why?"
Really?
Yes. I was like, "Why are you doing this? Like, I'm not about to be doing that." But she's like, "I would rather you be careful and safe." So, like, when I would be going to visit him, she just was like, "Okay, be careful."
Miss
When I
Brandy.
Yes, when I told them I was leaving to go with him during COVID, she was like, "Don't bring anybody back with you. Don't make anybody while you're there." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Mother."
Yeah. I definitely remember that.
Yeah.
Do
And
you
like,
think it's because do you think that it was because your mom had some sort of inkling that Kaylin was it? Like Kaylin was the one. You think
Yeah.
so? Okay. Because I
Yeah.
believe the same thing with when we started talking about moving in together. And y'all know my mom, ma'am, she's scary. And so sitting there and having a conversation,
no
telling her that I
nonsense.
didn't want to come back to Toledo. And she was
Mhm.
like, well, I think y'all need to start looking for an apartment.
Yeah.
I said, excuse me?
Who are you?
This is not you, ma'am.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think at that point in time, that solidified that she actually liked him. And
Hmm.
that's why I'm asking because if she was already like, yeah, that's fine. And like I said, I was around you being raised. And so I know how your
How?
parents were and stuff like that. And for them to just be like, okay, bye.
Be
Don't bring a
careful.
kid back. that tells me that they were like, oh yeah, he's the one.
Oh yeah. Wasn't they already like my dad was already calling you son or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was already.
Wow.
I was already up in there.
Yeah.
So what do those conversations look like in your household, though?
Yeah.
Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I told my parents like, hey, you know, Ashanti's out here with me. She did not want to be in Toledo.
Mm-hmm.
She did not want to be home. This is a crazy time. And they were understanding.
Mm-hmm.
They were understanding. And I think sometimes with parents, I can't speak on like a daughter, but I think as far as like a father and son, like once a father has seen like, okay, you can take care of yourself. You live with these people. You live with 3 people. We know that you were paying 2 rents and at one point in time, and now that lease is over, and now you're just focused on this lease. You know, car and all that stuff. I think their big thing was just like because you can take care of yourself, they didn't have an issue with, you know, Ashanti being there. Now, my mom, I'm sure she didn't say it, but I can, you know, how you have that sense.
Yeah.
She would be like, all right.
Right. Like, you're an adult. I can't tell you what to do, but
all right.
I don't agree with this completely.
Okay. So yeah, that is like that was the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also we go back to like our foundation. Like I was in Toledo, we were dating for a long time. We built that foundation before, you know, I went off and went to Kent. I think both, you know, both sets of our parents, they're like, okay, these kiddos were dating in Toledo
for 4 years.
This boy left. She went to Cleveland State. She came back. They got through all of this. And she's going out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're solidified. Know. Like they're like, okay, this boy is for real. This girl is for real. So we trust you. We trust you.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, it was definitely eye opening, but it was also like one of those things where it's like when you have standards, there's certain things that I'm trying to figure out how can I even explain this. Like coming from a 2-parent household, there's certain things where it's like, for me, from my perspective, I can't allow you to do these things and you don't have a ring on your finger. Like she was out here with me for 3 months. So we were cooking, we were cleaning, we were doing laundry, we were doing grocery shopping. We was doing all of this stuff. Like, and this is the first ever time that we've been around each other for this long of a time. And it's like it went great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know how like people were like breaking up and stuff, and they're like, I can't stand this person.
Yeah.
During all that, no.
COVID either pulled people closer or it pulled people apart.
Yeah.
We would both work virtually, and then we would like play video games until I had to like get on for class and stuff. It was a really fun time.
We just would watch The Office all the time.
Yeah.
We were watching The Office most of the time.
We was watching a lot of TV.
But you remember, so we didn't even know that COVID was real for a while.
Oh, wow.
So we didn't, because we don't watch the news. Like we just don't. That's just us. We don't watch the news. We really it bogs down too much. Yeah. And I will never forget, we went to Walmart. We went to Walmart once, and it was nothing in the store. And we had on masks, and I looked at him and I was like, maybe this is more serious than what we thought it was.
We knew it was. We didn't think it was as real as that.
Okay.
The company I was working for at the time, they were talking about it. We had a conversation in one of our meeting rooms talking about, you know, fist pump people or use the elbow. Oh, sorry. So like fist pump people or use the elbow, and we were still going out meeting clients and everything else, and then I was watching some stuff on like just anything that I could on that just to figure it out. And then it really hit, and that might have been the weekend before everything was actually shut down.
Yeah.
That we went to Walmart and
we
the
were
milk,
watching people scramble, and we was just sitting over there like, oh
Is
the
it
milk,
just
the water, the
the
toilet
toilet
paper,
paper.
everything was ransacked, and we were thinking, oh, because of where we were living, most people just do that even if a
Yeah,
snowstorm's
because
about to come in.
Maryland, because they don't have all that like that equipment to take care of snow, and so when it does snow, it would shut down. And so
Yeah.
we're like, oh, this is just normal because but it wasn't about the snow. It was warm out a little bit, so I'm just like, these people are just kind of just
Like it's
they're
gonna
being Maryland people,
it's gonna blow over in like a couple
yeah.
weekends. But
and it did
then,
not.
yeah, a few years later,
It
Uh,
did not.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. But yeah. So and during that time we would be talking like I'm a big what if person. So I'd be like, oh my gosh, what if we just like got married? What if we went, we went and eloped? Like that would be so cool and stress free. Because my parents, they didn't do like a big wedding ceremony. They went to the courthouse and got married. So like there weren't like a lot of like weddings that I went to as like a little kid and stuff like that. So I wasn't like the type of girl who's like, oh, I want this type of dress or like this and this and that. Like, I know we talked about it a little bit, but like deep down, it was just like, I don't know if I want to deal with all of that.
I was the same way. So I told Adam that I can't remember a time that I actually sat down as a kid and was like, princess dress, princess wedding. So just the same way that you were, I only been in one wedding, and that's when I was 6, and that was the last time I had ever been to a wedding. So we were in the same boat, literally.
So, like Ashanti was saying with like, what if? I'm the person that is like, okay, let's get in the car, let's go. I'm about to go 70 and a 50. Whoever wants to get in the car, when I make this stop, come on.
Mr. Spontaneous.
Spontaneous, that is me. Spontaneity.
And that's not me.
Yes. And so I think, when Ashanti left.
Well, yeah, I left. I got there in March. I left at the end of May because my school was opening back up. So I was like, okay. And like when I left, it was like, obviously we were very different. And it was like, are we really about to go back to like visiting? I was already like about to finish school. So I was about to start looking at places out here, like spas and stuff to try to like apply to. But I was thinking about getting my own apartment. Kaylin was like, oh, I want to move over here. So I think I might like try to find a cheaper apartment. And like his parents, we forgot to say this. His parents had came to visit us during the shutdown. And like while they were there and we were talking and I was talking about like getting my own apartment and stuff.
About that.
Yeah. His dad was like, why don't y'all just move in together?
Just move in together.
And I was like,
so the same way that your mom was like, y'all gonna have to get an apartment. It was the same way that my dad was like,
he was like, that's a waste of money.
It's a waste of money. Just get an apartment together.
And yeah, well, y'all both, Adam, you met Kaylin's dad like during the Super Bowl. You know, he's like real chill.
Yeah.
Just like, so this is a waste of money. He doesn't say very much. So it was like, oh.
Yeah, and one of the things that I do appreciate about my parents is how different they are. My dad is like blue collar. It is what it is. I'm watching football on Sundays. I got a couple of beers in the fridge. It is what it is. My mom is a school teacher, grew up in church, this, that, and the third. And I appreciate the difference. I needed my dad in that moment to be like, yeah, just get an apartment. Like, that was all that I needed as far as like affirmation from him to be like, okay, boom. Now, when Ashanti left, when we were like,
we had already kind of talked about maybe getting married.
And we were just like,
sooner than later.
What if? And what if we do this? And da 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 da. As soon as she left, I was looking for rings.
I know that's right.
I mean, as soon as she
closed the door.
I don't even know if she. I don't even know if she got on the turnpike yet to come back.
And you didn't even live that far from the turnpike.
I didn't. It was like
a
hop,
2-minute
a hop
drive.
and skip away. I don't even think she like got her ticket from the toll, and I was already on the website. Like,
She didn't even get out of the driveway.
He closed the door and he was like, "All right."
Literally.
Oh my goodness.
Like, hacking into like a system. I'm in. Like, oh yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. And in the what ifs, like when we would be talking about like getting married, I had kind of like favored October. I was like, it's not like around any holidays. It's not really around anybody's birthday. I was like, October would be perfect. And keep in mind, this is in May. So it's like, what if we got married in October? And he was like, this year. And I was like, what do you mean this year?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And like when we go to visit places that are warm, it's usually like they're off season. So like when we went to Myrtle Beach, well, nobody out there.
Oh yeah, we had our honeymoon in Myrtle Beach.
It was great. Nobody was out there.
It was still COVID, so
it was still
COVID.
Really
wasn't nobody
so
out
it
there.
really wasn't anybody out there. So we really got a chance to like really enjoy just
it was so
quietness and peace of mind. So yeah, so May, right?
Yeah.
June, July.
Well,
August.
Stuff hit the fan a little bit.
Ooh, so what challenges hit the fan for you all that you had to overcome in your relationship?
Because I was being a weenie and I didn't come out to my parents and tell them, like I told them that we had like started talking about it, but I didn't tell them that we wanted to get married in October, 3 months later. Because I was trying to wait for him. I wanted to tell them together, but because we live 2 hours apart from each other and we're doing all these things and we both have multiple jobs and stuff, it was a little hard. And I did not think about that. I could have just sucked it up and told them myself and not been scary. So my parents were a little thrown off.
They were a lot of thrown
off.
I ain't gonna say a little.
They were very thrown off and taken aback when he finally did come to town. Or
because I asked for like their blessing.
Oh yeah.
Now I don't remember what day that was, when that was.
No, I know I was at home because Daniel was like, "Oh, Kaylin's downstairs," and I was like, "I don't think I'm supposed to know that he's here."
Oh my goodness!
Because he didn't tell me that he was coming over.
Oh yeah.
So
that sounds familiar.
I was calling him, texting him, whatever I did. I was like, "Hey, can I talk to you guys? I'm coming over at this time." He was like, "Kaylin's downstairs." I was like,
okay. So,
thanks.
Right. I'm just gonna act like I didn't know that.
Right.
So yeah. So because of that, the miscommunication and my parents being kind of out of the loop, it kind of created like a little bit of a rift. Because also my mom is not a spontaneous person, and she likes a lot of information, and for things to be like planned out, and so all of this was like shoved in her face. And my parents were very traditional in the way of like the bride's parents pay for the wedding,
right?
So it's the summertime, we're trying to like plan and stuff. His mom is off school because she's an elementary teacher. My mom works in a college, so she's still like doing stuff during the summer. So during the day, we would be like on the phone with his mom, and she would like call us with like ideas and stuff. And I'll be like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll talk to my mom about it." And when she gets off work, and my mom felt kind of like left out of the planning and stuff. So we had to like stop and like revamp some stuff. But I think that it definitely made my parents feel like they didn't have time to like digest the fact that I was getting married, and I just wanted to like get it over with.
Yeah,
like the idea of wedding planning just was like not fun for me.
You didn't like it?
No, I just wanted to get it over with. I was like, I don't care. I was having a wedding. The reason I agreed to a wedding was for our parents so that they could see their kids get married. So I kind of was just like, whatever you guys want. Like if that's what you want to do, then but they're like, no, this is your wedding. You can't just say whatever to everything.
Yeah, and
so I
my
could have handled it
mind,
better.
my mindset, like through the whole process, was the wedding it's a one day, but but it's not marriage. And so, like, let's get all this cute stuff and pictures and stuff out of the way. Like, I'm ready to work.
Right.
I'm ready to like
Work.
I'm ready to like put in work for real. So like that was really my mindset, the whole time. And yeah, that's how we got to this
we
point.
survived it.
You did.
I only tried on one wedding dress. It was very like, okay, sure, let's get this over with. So yeah.
So I'm curious, looking back on it now, would you have changed the wedding date?
You changed the wedding date to
Right.
like
Would you have like made it longer instead of doing it in 3 months? Would you have planned it out longer?
Honestly, when I think about it, I'd be like, we should have just went somewhere and got married.
It'd be like surprise.
Yeah.
Everybody would have been like, oh.
Because the other thing about it was like I really wanted to get married in October. And I was like, I don't want to wait another year because of the whole COVID thing. People are like, they don't know what's going to happen. And I was like, I'm going to be really mad if we wait a whole year to get married and we still can't have a large gathering of people.
Right.
And I would interject and say it was the perfect moment.
Yes.
Because first, we've been together at this point for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like if we didn't have like the long distance relationship and we were still in Toledo that whole time, we would have been got married.
Mm-hmm.
And then second of all, it was a good situation because of COVID, we used COVID to our advantage.
Because we both have large families. I don't like being the center of attention. So I was like, this is going to be expensive. This is going to be uncomfortable and awkward. So let's just get married while we can be around a bunch of people so that people aren't trying to like make you feel bad and that you didn't invite them. Even though I did have some family members that like finessed their way in to our 30 guest wedding.
Yeah.
My friends are spread out all over the country, so I can't have a wedding party in a short amount of time. We're all young and people don't have money. So it was just like, let's just get this over with.
I think we spent more money on our rings combined than we did like our wedding.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's paid for most of it.
Yeah.
And also, in hindsight, I'm like, they should have just gave us that money to like save and put a down payment on a house or something. But it's okay. It was an experience.
Fine. You're married. That's all that matters.
It was an experience. Yeah. So we got beautiful pictures out of it.
So not that long after you guys welcomed your first baby into this world, little Cairo. So let's kind of talk about that just a little bit.
Okay.
So
because y'all didn't waste no time.
No, you didn't.
I'm gonna tell you. The weekend, I don't know if you remember, you guys were in town for something and like we had hung out. We had came for a wedding.
Oh, when we all went to the lounge.
Dewan.
Yes. When we went to the lounge and Adam was like, this is the ghettoest Toledo mess I done ever seen, and that man was breakdancing in the middle of the floor.
Because your theme song in Toledo is a Webby song. Like, stop.
Boosie. It's Boosie.
No, the one y'all were going crazy to was Webby in that lounge.
I mean,
I'm with Boosie 100%. Webby though, that's terrible. Like y'all, this is why it's called Skibbity Ohio because
got the Riz.
This is why I went to be Raji's for our first date.
This is why Ohio is always in the news for cringy stuff. Now you guys are eating dogs and cats.
Honestly, no, we're not. That's Springfield, Ohio, not Toledo, Ohio. Toledo, Ohio.
It's Ohio in general.
Anyways, So it was that weekend?
No, that weekend I thought that I was pregnant. And like by the time we had got to Toledo, we found out I wasn't. And so I was really sad about it. Like I was crying about it. And like we didn't talk about, like we had conversations about like, oh, when do you think we're gonna have a baby? But we wanted to at least wait a year.
You didn't do that.
No. The next month I got pregnant. And that was not on purpose either. It just happened. Man. Yeah. So it was like,
the very next month after the wedding, after we seen you guys. Yeah.
I was like, thanks God. Okay.
I honestly, and I understand exactly where you're coming from with that, like that feeling of you don't talk about it. You're like, oh, you know, if I got pregnant, then it is what it is. If I, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you don't plan it. And then you have that little glimmer of hope that when you take that test, that it's going to say that it's positive and then it says negative, and then you feel like crap. I have been in that position a little more often than not as of recently. So I completely understand with that. And that's kind of hard, honestly. So the fact that you guys were able to just go ahead and just, you know, not plan it, and then the next month end up pregnant, is actually, is God's timing. So what I do want to know though is telling your parents.
Hold on. Before you say that.
What you got?
Because you just tried to leave something in the atmosphere like nobody was going to think it, the listeners or them. No, we were not actively trying. So
we're not pregnant either, but we're not actively trying.
Yeah, but the way you just dropped it out there.
I'm sorry.
No context. Let's just get that out the way real fast.
No, we are not active. We aren't active. We're not pregnant. Sorry, guys. Anyways, back to the parentals.
So before we even get to the parents, I had went to Target to get a pregnancy test. This is the pregnancy test that, like, you know, Ashanti was gonna take to see if she was pregnant or not. And it was an old black lady. And I had a pregnancy test and then I had a box of condoms. And she looked at me. She looked at me and she was like, "What are you doing?"
What is this?
What is this? Like, what is going on here? And I'm just like, we about to see.
And I sent him by himself because I was too anxious to do that.
You're a little too late for that, ain't you?
And I'm like, I'm Mr. Spontaneous. So in my mind, I'm like, what is this lady about to say when she sees a pregnancy test
and a box of condoms?
Condoms, like, what is like? This is probably about to rock her world. And
what?
She thought you messed up because you bought the pregnancy test praying that it wasn't, so that the condoms you'd be able to use those later.
Learn your lesson.
Like, that test could say one of two things,
and it's a little too late. You can't bring the condoms back. You can't get a refund on them.
No, you might as well take those back and get you some diapers. She said you made the wrong purchase.
Yeah, you can do a even swap. You will get just like a Target gift card to put towards your diaper purchase or your white purchase.
You must have forgotten the plan B in there is what she thought. It's the pregnancy test, the plan B, and then the condom.
Oh my God.
You just bought the two.
You just bought the two, and then you just gotta hope for one.
Yeah, it was like
you threw the Hail Mary out.
I was like, we about to see. Saying, yeah. And we saw.
I hope she's doing well. You should take Cairo in there one day and be like, look, you remember me? I'm the condom and pregnancy test guy. Look what happened. We had the pregnancy test.
I see that all the time.
Right. I see that all the time.
Ooh wee.
We took it.
So how was it telling your parents?
We took it early, like a Saturday morning. I had to go to work, so I was like, we about to take this before I go to work because I can't.
Not you taking it before work. I would have that on my conscience.
I was like, I can't go to work and not know. All day wondering.
All day in your mind.
So we took it. It was positive. We called our parents right away. I told my mom, she was on her way to work. I was like, I need you to pull over so that you can like answer this like Facebook Messenger call.
I called my parents too.
Called my dad, told him to wake up because it's like 7:30. And we showed them because I wasn't gonna be able to keep that to myself.
Yeah,
I told y'all the same month.
You did. You remember? And you remember when I called my mom and I was like, Ashanti and Kaylin are pregnant, and she was like, "Good for them." I was like, "No, they're young."
No.
She was like, "They're married."
right.
I was like, "This is teenage pregnancy."
I think Anisha was the only one that. Yeah, I think
I
she
was
was the only one
shook.
shook up about it. I'm like, they're married. What's the problem?
I said, "This is teenage pregnancy. This is." She's like, "They're married."
She was the main one bragging. They've been together for 5 years. It's about time that they decided to get married. And then I'm like, oh, but then they get pregnant, and that's your problem.
That's your.
It's so soon.
It's teenage pregnancy. That's how I look at it.
But it felt like it a little bit.
See? And then everybody looking at you like, ooh, y'all have sex. Y'all have sex. And then you embroidered the red A on you, basically. Right. So now they know.
Right. And my aunts definitely made it nasty and gross when I told them. I was like, all right.
Oh.
It was like,
y'all been doing it.
Nah, y'all been doing it. It's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, I will never forget because then you would show us Cairo's ultrasounds and stuff, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is really real. This is happening. This is happening.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like.
And Ashanti called. Did you call like a nurse?
Yeah, so I called to make my first like doctor's appointment, and she was like, "What are you calling for?" And I was like, "I think I'm pregnant." I was like, "I don't know how to do this."
She was like, "Well, what did the pregnancy test say? Positive. What are your symptoms?" Nausea. She said, "Baby, you pregnant."
I was like, I don't yeah, you pregnant.
Yeah, you pregnant. It's crazy.
I know they're rolling her eyes
like you called me for this.
Come in 8 weeks.
Yeah, I never understood that either. Like right when you're first pregnant, they don't let you come in until like a full 8 weeks. It's the craziest thing ever.
It is.
So you don't see your baby for the first time until like what, 8 weeks?
Yeah. So I found out at 5 weeks. Like I found out right away. I was like, this don't feel right. Something's different. Something's off.
She was real emotional. Like,
oh my gosh, I felt like the world was about to end. I was like, I want to quit my job. What am I doing?
That is so funny.
I was like, what is wrong with you?
Not what is wrong with you. But see, that's why it's so funny though, because growing up with you, I know how you were because you were kind of emotional as a child. So hearing that you were more emotional is just hilarious to me.
Yeah, I was getting on his nerves. And I could not stay awake to save my life. I would come home from work. I worked at European Wax Center. So I would work like a full regular 8-hour shift. And like usually before being pregnant, I was fine. But I would come home, I would sit on the couch. 20 minutes later, I would be knocked out. Could not stay awake to save my life. Literally.
Yeah, knocked out. So
that was Cairo.
So our parents
are
excited.
Now y'all have Cairo.
Yeah.
What's the dynamic like in your relationship since you didn't wait the full year of being married to see how like your marriage is? What's the dynamic been now?
Yeah. Now I would say that like whatever was covered up, Cairo uncovered it. Whether that be our communication, like how we speak to each other.
That changed in pregnancy.
Yeah, that changed in pregnancy before he even popped out. Like, yeah. So also Cairo helped us have each other's backs a little bit more. Because once he came in, really it was solidified that, okay, this is my wife and I'm her husband as it pertains to parents. And that him coming into this world definitely like it brought us much closer together. And I would say on a emotional level, on a spiritual level, he definitely has pushed us. So our dynamic like is much more better. We are much more connected than now that him being, here on this earth with us. So I would say our dynamic is a lot stronger than it was.
Yeah.
So, what would you say?
I would say that being pregnant and having him forced me to like have to rely on you and like trust you and not like try to do everything myself.
So with that being said, I had told Ashanti, who was in school working 2 jobs originally, to hey, stop working.
I was like 3 months pregnant.
3 months pregnant, and I was like, yep, I want you to stop working. That wrecked her world right away. And she was like, what? How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? Where's the money going to come from?
Full-blown panic attacks.
Yeah. And me, Mr. Daredevil, in my mind, I'm like, I will work 10 jobs. But what I cannot let you do is work a European wax, be on your feet for 8 hours, not even get a chance to drink, proper amount of fluids, or even be able to eat.
Yeah.
And you're going to be throwing up because you're looking at people's, like, we talking first trimester, okay?
Oh, man.
So automatically she going to have food aversions.
I was so sick.
She going to be messed up when she see...
Stop doing that.
Okay then.
Because can you just imagine like the person that's laying on the table and you just start gagging?
Right.
And they're just like,
is it me?
Is it me?
Right. Literally. No, I definitely feel like I almost made somebody feel like that one day.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was just like, I want you to be at home. I want you to enjoy this pregnancy. I want you to drink your water, take your prenatals, eat, a good amount of, food, for this child, and not just the child, but for her as well. But can you explain like what happened like after that and once we?
Well, I was gonna say another thing that was hard about it was because I'm the oldest daughter. I'm the oldest, so like I have that. I don't know if you guys have heard of like how the oldest daughter has like third parent vibes or like really independent. So like that was like a whole character shift for me to like not have my hands in everything and to like fully like trust him and lean on him. Even though I did trust him, but this was a whole different kind of like trust.
Yeah. It's like it was like, yeah, I trust you to, go to work and, bring your end of this, this bargain in. But now I have to trust you to take care of everything.
Yeah.
Take care of me emotionally also.
Yeah. And so there was a lot of shifts that had to happen. We had 2 cars. And so, and I had a 2020 at that time. And I took that car back.
Broke the
lease on that. Ended up like getting, a refund back. That way we only had 1 car, 1 insurance rate. And we were able to manage that, during that time. And definitely God definitely had his hand on the whole operation.
Yeah, because I was about to say Ashanti wasn't eating because she'd be in the group chat like, I can't eat this. Like, have her little baggie of, I think, apples and pretzels and stuff that you'd pack for her. And I'm like, girl, just eat it.
Yeah, like, what
eat
is
it.
I don't want it.
Like, what is that?
Just eat it.
Not you bringing our receipts.
I have the receipts, guys. I do. I have the receipts. And me and Elena in the group chat, like, what's going on? Like, just eat it.
Right. I'm like, it's only so many times you gonna tell me that you didn't drink water or you didn't eat, and then you just coming home and you pregnant.
Yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't even want you to do that when you don't have
I
a
mean, I
child.
wasn't eating before barely.
Right. So it's like, yeah, there's some things that we're gonna have to like bring back to the table and really like discuss and talk about. So,
Mm-hmm.
What were you asking?
from that moment after like what transpired, like from the trust, the trusting and the
I mean, pregnancy was great. It was still like social distancing, so um, didn't have to be around anybody. Our church was closed,
Mm-hmm.
so he would like go once a week to like do recordings. Sometimes I would go with you, sometimes I wouldn't. Um, I was really sad because we didn't do holidays with our families. Um, well, even before I got pregnant, I got COVID
Oh.
like the month after we got married
Mm-hmm.
because of I had started my job. So we had like we missed multiple years of holidays because of that. So that made me really sad. But I feel like I'm not answering the question. Am I answering the question?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah.
We'll hit you with an easier question because our favorite date night is Dave and Buster's.
Mm-hmm.
So two-parter. What was your go-to date night before Cairo, and
Mm-hmm.
what do your date nights look like
Now
now
with
with
Cairo.
Cairo?
Before Cairo, it was going out to eat and then going to a movie. We have seen every Marvel movie that has come out since we started dating.
Yeah.
And we've seen like a couple other movies in there. Trying different restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely pre Cairo.
Yeah. Definitely pre Cairo.
Going to the park.
And now with Cairo, what it looks like is um,
There's different phases.
yeah, it's different phases.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll go we'll go on a walk, and that'll be a date.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just be at the house. We'll get carry out.
Or
That's a
like
date.
when he was like a newborn, he would sleep all the time. So we would just like have car dates. Or I would strap him to me and we would go out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And then also we still go out to eat
Mm-hmm.
with him. Like that doesn't change, and I think that also helps. Like
We've taken him to the drive-in.
we take him to the drive-in.
And our parents will like take him for like a weekend or like when he was younger, our parents would come out and like keep him overnight or something so we could like go out and do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if I told you, Kenya lives out here. She moved out here to be closer to us.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
So like my aunt will sometimes watch him so that we can like go out and like have full alone time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we do incorporate him and do like a family date type of thing. And now that he's in school, we're like starting to like get some more like alone time during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you get off work, if I don't have to work.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how we do
So
it.
it's a little variety.
And then also like still doing stuff while he, is a baby.
Mm-hmm.
It helps him not, for lack of better terminology, be awkward or weird in public. Like he's used to the environment.
And he's social. He doesn't even have an awkward bone in his body.
He is. He
He's
is so social. It's so cute though.
He
Yeah, I
doesn't
think
have.
socialized, properly socialized was the word.
Yeah.
The term
yes.
you were
Talking
looking
about
for.
weird.
Don't be weird. Don't be weird.
That's
Please.
why I prefaced it with lack of better terminology.
Right.
Some people will be like, "No, I don't want my kid to be out.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hide them,
Mm-mm.
or I don't want them out of like embarrassment, or I always have to like monitor their behavior." And it's like,
Yeah.
if you do that, you're only going to set yourself back with that.
Right. And we've been out. Obviously, we have went to what brunch. We've been to dinner with Cairo, and
Yeah.
Cairo will just sit either in one of our laps, and he just sits there. He don't.
Now
He
he's
just
gonna
sits there.
sit and ask for some bread. He's gonna order his own food.
Mm,
And he'd see the waitress and he'd be like, "You got my stuff yet?"
See, and he did, and I'm like, that's all he did, and I'm like, he would come across the table, he'd sit with me, he'd go back across the table, sit with y'all, and come back and sit with us, and
Yeah.
he's just social. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to bring him out to see you guys.
Yes, you do. Please,
Definitely.
please do.
You know,
Our
be
door's
cracking
always open.
the whole time.
Got 2 guest rooms, so more than welcome.
He can sleep in there by himself. Look at that.
No, not the baby.
It's very independent.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's by himself. I would
Yeah.
assume, yeah. So how I was gonna say, how is that? Does he ask? Is he gonna get a sibling?
He did say something a couple weeks ago. He was like, "Baby want a sister," and I was
Him
like,
calling himself a baby is just.
"I told you, we told you." He'd be like, "Baby want a snack."
The third person.
Maybe have to go outside.
Not Cairo, baby. And
And
his teacher says he does it at school too. That's why I sent that video, because he be calling himself baby at school.
y'all,
And
he's not a baby. He's a toddler. That's what makes it so much funnier.
Yes.
That's why I'm cracking up, because if you see him, he's not a baby.
He's 3 feet tall.
Yes, this is a grown man with a job.
He's had a toddler body since he was like 6
Literally.
Oh my god.
He is literally he is a grown man with a job.
He's ready for football. At
Yes,
this
he
point.
is. He literally is. So him saying baby want a sister is
Baby want a sister. I said, "What?" He was like, "Baby want baby sister." I said, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Well, we'll have to talk about it and think about it." He was like, "Okay,
okay.
okay,
Yeah, he's like,
sounds
okay.
good."
Yeah.
And just probably walked away, just
Yeah.
normal.
Went back
Yes,
to
like
Yeah.
when I say, and he's saying full on happy birthday to us, and the fact that he's calling himself baby.
Yeah.
It's wild to think like he's only 2.5.
Yeah.
And think about him like on his birthday, thinking about him like a year ago. It's just like, how do you know so much stuff already?
Yeah.
He's very smart.
Yes.
He's very smart. He's very he's very fluent when he talks. Everything.
For the most part. I mean, he is potty trained because he knows like where he gets annoyed if I'm asking him constantly if he has to go to the bathroom. And he'd be like, "No, don't have to go."
No, don't have to go potty.
I don't want to.
Oh.
But then he also knows like if he's busy playing and he don't want to go, like he just knows so much. It's crazy.
And so like his first couple of weeks of school, like he did have accidents.
Yeah. Because he wasn't trying to go to the bathroom at school. So like they would put him on the potty and he wouldn't do anything. And he would wait until nap time when they put a pull up on him to go.
Oh.
Or like if he just couldn't hold it anymore, then he would have an accident. But he was like holding it, like, "No, I don't want to go. I don't want y'all to be in here with me." And so we had to like keep telling him like it's okay for them to be with you in the bathroom.
Well, that's real smart of him though, because he wasn't registering that he's allowed to go to the bathroom with these people around.
I don't know, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all baby is a genius.
And it was a conversation that I had to have with him while he was on the potty here at home. I was just multiple times, like, "Hey, you're on the potty now at home, but I want you to understand that when you're at school, it's okay for Miss Abby and Miss Ireland, to take you to the potty. And if you feel like you have to go to the potty, you just say, 'Hey, Miss Abby, hey, Miss Ireland, I have to go to the potty.'" We role played it, everything. Like, I'm literally talking to him how I'm talking to y'all, and he understands it. It's not like, huh? I'm looking at him in his eyes. He understands exactly what I'm saying. And the past 2 weeks, like, yes, he's a toddler. He's had a couple accidents, but for the most part, ever since like, me and Ashanti's like redirection and affirmations, for him, it's been like, yeah, he's been going to the potty. He's been peeing. He's been having bowel movements at school. He's returning back with the same underwear that he had on when we left the house, when I dropped him off. So just that consistency.
Baby
That's
understood.
that's really all it is.
Baby
Baby,
understood.
he
Baby
understood.
understood.
Baby.
Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yes,
Baby
yes, yes,
understands.
yes.
What you got?
So before we get to the rapid round, the last question I have is, what is next for the Crawfords?
Ooh. Good.
Can I tell them?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So we just said that I quit working like 3 months into my pregnancy. And then I was a stay-at-home mom until this February. Um, and I was working at the Y, and then I switched to Old Navy because customer service is my jam. Uh, and so I've only been there for like 3 months, and I just got a promotion, or I'm in the
Okay.
of training for a promotion to be like a lead, a supervisor.
Yes.
So
Congratulations.
Yes.
yeah,
Now
thank you.
me, my last day at my other job, well, my current job, my last day is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be transitioning into another agency that's much closer to home. Um, I was able to also like bring some of like my clients that I work with as well, with permission, of course, from their parents and everything. But I'm able to still work with them and taking
Plus new
on,
kids.
yeah, taking on another school as well as like working with newer kids. So I'll be doing that. I'll be working closely with a therapist. So I think that'll be like the push that will help me like go back to school because there's not that many black male therapists out there. Um, so that's what we're doing now.
We are considering Cairo's request.
Yeah,
Oh,
his request.
that's not what I was thinking they was about to say.
Oh
What?
no.
I said, wait, we about to move to Chicago?
Uh,
They just got a house.
I
That's a
know.
no.
I
Right.
know.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I
We're in
wish.
the house now. We're still moving things around and
Oh, you're still unpacking.
still unpacking and
It's been
finding
a
things
journey.
to go. It's a journey.
We've dealt with some crap. But yeah, thinking about another baby. The idea of going from 1 to 2 is very scary. It's even more scary than just being like, let's have a baby.
That's a lot.
Because childcare is expensive. And I'm probably not going to be able to be a stay-at-home mom again.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to have to pay extra for pre or daycare and stuff like that. So some hurdles that I have to let go of mentally to be flexible.
Yeah,
That's when you tell your parents to retire.
Oh my gosh, we've been
Yeah.
trying to talk. We've been trying to finesse his parents. His parents are closer to retirement than mine are, and my parents are like, we want to move to Georgia when we retire. Cleveland is too cold. So I'm like, okay, fine.
You just get them to retire and move them in.
Come
and then you
on.
got full on daycare at home.
We could buy a big old house out here and call it a day.
Yeah, we could be somewhere in Shaker, one of them houses.
Exactly. Shaker. Good old Shaker.
Good old Shaker.
Yeah, or Cleveland Heights. Cleveland. I mean, we're in Cleveland Heights now, and Cleveland Heights does have nice houses as well. So, hey, where you asked us what's next, and
we're in a transition.
We're in a transition. God is literally like leading all of this,
just like that chess piece on your bookshelf.
Right, been looking at it this whole time.
Right.
Listen, we so what's so funny because when we talk about transitions and we were just talking about new beginnings today. So when we bought our house, when we came to look at it, we had these weird bugs that were on the front door. And it was a bunch of them. Like, you know how when you go to Cedar Point and it's like all those mayflies everywhere? It was like that, but they're not mayflies. I can't remember what the name of them are, but we looked them up and the representation of it means new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up going through the process, closing and everything like that. There was no bugs on the door. And when I tell you the door was like full of them, it was full of them. Once
Mm.
we closed and we got our house, we got the house, we got the keys and everything like that, they were gone.
Wow.
Right now we're in this weird transition with just life in general. And Adam called me today when I was coming home from work and he said those bugs are all on the door again.
They're called box elder bugs.
Okay, that's what they
And
were.
I feel like
they are
I'll be calling them midgies.
Right? I don't know.
but yeah, when we looked it up, it's a symbol of new beginnings with those
How does
bugs.
that make you
But
guys?
it's it makes us feel pretty good about it because literally so we're in a townhouse and the door right next to us, none of
them had it.
none of the other doors next to us have these bugs on their
Mm.
posts, on their screen doors,
Mhm.
nothing. And it's always on our stuff. And it
on ours.
was when we came to get the keys, it was a ton of them, like hundreds of them. We were like trying to run in and swat
Yes.
them to get in the
Ew.
house. But yeah, I've been seeing them over the past few days,
Mhm.
like
Wow.
on our, like just on the posts,
Yeah.
on the door, on the front window, but they're only in the front by the door.
They're never in the house. They're just always on the front door. They're nobody else's in this area, just ours. And so we'll text y'all and let y'all know kind of what's going on, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
hearing hearing about that, so him telling me that today on the way home, and then kind of the shift that we're kind of going through right now, but then also it's solidifying now that we're talking to you guys about your transition and things like that. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh gosh, okay, God, you are funny. You're really funny that you're
So
just putting stuff like this and you're putting people together to have these conversations and whatnot when these bugs literally just showed up today.
these books.
These
Yeah.
bugs showed up today. And now we're having this conversation and listening to you guys and everything that you guys got going on too. So
That's amazing, man.
full circle. Okay,
Yes.
you ready for rapid fire?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
How you want to do this? You want to do? I do
Wait,
want to
what
do
is rapid fire? Y'all haven't done that before.
because
At least,
you're the first couple on here.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't hear this on any episode.
This
So
is our
yeah.
rapid fire question segment
Mhm.
where we're gonna give you. This is like you get 5 seconds to
Yes, sir.
answer
Mm.
the question.
Whew.
A piece.
My.
And that's it. So this has to be knee-jerk reaction questions.
Help me, God. Help me.
Mine are about to be
So
crazy.
It's easy. I promise. It's easy. Yeah, we already know the first two. Okay. Who's the better cook?
Me.
do you concur?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, okay,
there goes
he's
the-
pointing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who's the
what's
better driver?
me?
Okay, he's not a passenger prince, so.
I am queen.
Passenger king.
Queen passenger.
Not for you to
Who's
say.
more organized?
Me.
Yeah.
Who has better fashion sense?
Hmm.
I would say Ashanti.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, thanks. Who chooses where to go for dinner?
Oh, Kaylin.
Me.
I'm indecisive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's what you two have in common. Who wakes up first?
Kaylin.
Me.
Oh gosh. Okay, this one's good because I'm this person. Who's funnier?
Me.
He thinks, but I be making him laugh. But we could say it's you.
I'm laughing now.
Look at you blush.
Anisha will die on that hill.
I'm a comedian.
And that's what it is. It's like I'm funny when I'm not trying to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about it, two things for sure. I'm a comedian. I've been doing this since I was born.
You said that scared you?
Oh, I put the laugh effect on.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was like,
You can't be doing stuff like that.
It was like,
Don't say that loud.
that's how it was.
it didn't sound like the first laugh track.
You gonna wake Cairo up.
Nah,
first one was
he's
that was like
a tough
boring.
sleeper.
All right, last two questions. So, who has the better taste in music?
I think that's pretty equal. We have very different tastes in music.
I love a good hood jam.
Yeah. He got his own hood jam versions, and I got mine. So it's very, I would say we're even on that.
Yeah, and then we have like our own like not odd, but like Ashanti will go through this phase where she listens to soft rock, and
Girl,
lately,
what?
I respect it.
That's wild.
and
As
lately,
a as a drummer, I can respect that, Ashanti.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good stuff. And then
Survive.
lately, I've been listening to a lot of like Nat King Cole,
Which
like
is stuff I would usually be listening to.
1950s, 1960s stuff. I like that.
Record player stuff.
Yeah, I like the sound, like the
crackle in the
horns,
back.
the crackling. I love that.
Okay. That's scary. Who has the better taste in movies?
Oh,
Shanti.
really? Well, I am. Thank you.
She real
She was
tickled.
tickled. Thank you.
Was she receiving an award? Well,
Well, thank you. I have to say something about
She's
Oh my
accepting
God.
this award.
Last one.
I'm
It just
a big movie person.
last one just came to me. Who plans the best dates?
I'm in my bag a little bit. I don't know.
Ooh.
I surprised him for Father's Day.
I don't know.
So I don't know. You've planned more dates, but the dates that I have planned have been pretty good. You can take this one.
Yeah, let's say it's me.
What was your favorite date? Each of you, what's been your favorite date thus far?
My favorite day, I'll go first. My favorite date thus far was when she surprised me with Jacob Collier tickets.
Okay.
That was the Father's Day.
That was the Father's Day. I was stunned. Stunned.
Had your mom come up? You didn't even know she was coming up.
Stunned. like somebody like threw a flat if somebody threw a flashbang at me and like I was just like couldn't see, my ears was ringing, whole night stunned.
Is that a video game term?
It's a real life term.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Isn't this so cute? I know Adam is like, what the heck?
He is
Yeah,
just
it's
over here
real.
tickled.
I use those all the time.
I ain't say all that, but
I think the first date that's coming to mind is my birthday after I had Cairo. So, because like it was a rough time. Cairo had to be in the hospital for like a week after he was born. It was all types of stuff going on. So my birthday was like a month later, and he took me to dinner to a really nice restaurant. I think we went to the movies. So your parents had came, and so that was like the first time that I had left him. But it was like time to make sure that I celebrated myself, because I probably wasn't expecting on doing anything since it was so close.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where it's like,
well, no, it was the second time I had left him because the first time was for your bridal shower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was about to say that was the first time.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where it's like, yes, you are, my wife. Yes, you are Cairo's mom, but I don't want you to lose Ashanti in all of this.
Absolutely.
You can wear all of these hats and be mom, be wife, be daughter, but I don't want you to lose yourself. And
your pink.
Yeah, and who you are to your kid.
Oh my gosh.
This is hilarious. I gotta get these. I gotta get the buttons. I gotta get
a soundboard. We have a soundboard.
Game changer.
Don't you know?
Yeah, I could like program them into the thing, but
yeah, you about to call him after this? Like, hey, how do we?
Yeah, the soundboard's a game changer.
Yes, that was one of those. That was one of those dates. Yeah.
I love it here. I love it.
That's awesome. Well, this has been our first actual interview, couples interview.
No, it's not our first interview.
I can't
Yeah,
believe
our
you.
first couples interview on the Lovely podcast. So we will close it out here. It's been great, and we'll actually have to do another one, hopefully in person, next time. We'll bring the equipment down to your house.
I'm gonna stay in your friend's
We're gonna
room.
stay in your friend's room.
I don't know. Y'all probably don't watch Real Housewives, so y'all don't understand that reference. But
Too,
that's
but
cheers to the girls' weekend.
Those who know.
you know.
But awesome. Any last words from the Crawfords?
This was fun.
This was fun. This was great. This gave viewers and listeners a chance to see that, you know, our journey may not be your journey. And not y'all, but like the listeners.
You out there.
You out there. Our journey, the Crawfords journey, the Leeper's journey, is not your journey. We are all unique, and we have great stories that can impact one another.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, this has been episode 2 of the Lovely podcast. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.